You wake up believing money is the problem. You think the empty wallet is what keeps you trapped. Meanwhile, someone with fewer resources but sharper instincts is quietly stepping over you. Power does not reward effort. Power rewards perception, positioning, and timing. If you still think fairness runs this world, you are already behind. You are living in one of two realities. Either you understand how power actually moves, or you are being moved by those who do. There is no middle ground. The unaware get used. The aware get ahead, and the aware eventually decide the rules. Today, this speech is built on multiple laws: govern invisibility, silence, absence, attention, belief, and effortless dominance. This is the intelligence that stays quiet while others talk themselves into weakness. This is the mindset that lets you control outcomes without appearing to try. Before you resist this, understand something clearly. These rules already exist. Predators already use them. Learning them is not corruption. It is armor. Type in the comments, "I choose power over permission." Now watch how mental poverty is created and how you dismantle it starting today. You reveal hunger without speaking. It shows in rushed emails, fast yes answers, and the way you lean forward before value is offered. Desperation leaks. When it does, leverage disappears. Power reads, need the way sharks read blood. The moment you want something more than the other side, you are priced, delayed, or ignored. Law 3 teaches you to conceal intention. Law 30 teaches you to make results look natural. Together they expose a brutal truth. Effort is not admired. Effort is assessed. When you show how badly you need the outcome, you invite control. Bosses assign more work. Clients negotiate harder. Partners take space, not because they are cruel, but because humans follow advantage. Watch real workplaces. The employee who stays late every night rarely advances first. The one who delivers clean results without noise gains quiet authority. You think visibility comes from strain. It actually comes from restraint. When you stop broadcasting struggle, others assume capacity. Assumptions shape treatment. Mental poverty starts here. You believe showing hunger proves commitment. It proves dependence. Dependence lowers status. Status decides access. Access decides money. This is why restraint is not arrogance. It is self-respect translated into behavior. Hide hunger by slowing your responses. Choose silence over explanation. Let deadlines pass once without panic. Do not announce goals. Finish, then reveal. When asked how you did it, keep it simple. Simplicity signals control. Control attracts trust. This is defense, not deception. You are not tricking anyone. You are correcting an imbalance. Predators hunt those who signal need. Remove the signal, and the hunt moves elsewhere. You are safer, clearer, and harder to push. Remember this. Hunger makes noise. Power eats quietly. This discipline feels uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is the price of autonomy. And autonomy is where real leverage and long-term opportunity finally begin for you starting today now. You talk too much when you feel unsure. Most people do. They fill space because silence feels like loss of control. But in real power exchanges, silence is the control. When you explain yourself, you hand the other side your reasoning, your doubts, your limits. They do not need to guess anymore. Guessing is where your advantage lived. Law 4 is simple and brutal. The more you say, the more ordinary you become. Words reduce mystery. Mystery creates gravity. When you answer every question fully, you lower your perceived value. When you pause, shorten responses, or let silence stretch, the other person starts working. They fill gaps with assumptions, and humans almost always assume strength before weakness when information is scarce. Watch meetings. The person who speaks first is rarely the one remembered. The one who waits, listens, then adds a single line shifts the room. Silence forces others to seek your approval without you asking for it. You are no longer reacting, you are being read. Over-explaining is not clarity, it is insecurity leaking through language. It shows you want to be understood too badly. When you need to be understood, you are already chasing. Power does not chase understanding, it allows misunderstanding until correction is necessary. This applies everywhere: job interviews, negotiations, relationships. The moment you justify instead of state, you give ground. Short answers signal confidence, because confident people do not feel the need to defend every position. Silence after a statement lets it land. Silence after a question forces the other person to reveal more than they planned. Mental poverty trains you to talk to be liked. Power trains you to listen, to be respected. When you speak less, people project intelligence onto you. When you listen longer, they expose themselves. Both outcomes benefit you. This is not about being cold or mute. It is about control. Speak when it moves the situation forward. Stop speaking when it only soothes your nerves. Discomfort is the training ground here. Sit in the pause. Let silence do the work you used to do with words. Remember this: words explain. Silence defines. The person who controls silence controls the frame, and the frame decides who leaves the interaction with leverage and who leaves still trying to prove themselves. You were taught that being available builds trust. It does not. It builds familiarity, and familiarity kills value. When you are always reachable, always helpful, always present, your presence stops registering. People do not miss what never leaves. Demand only forms in the gap. Law 16 is cruel but accurate. Absence sharpens respect. Presence dulls it. When you stay too close, others stop adjusting to you. They assume you will be there no matter what. That assumption removes urgency. Urgency is where leverage lives. Watch modern work culture. The employee who answers instantly becomes the default tool. The one who goes quiet for a moment becomes the variable. Variables are watched, tools are used. In relationships, the pattern is the same. Constant access breeds comfort, not desire. Comfort invites neglect. Neglect follows predictability. Strategic withdrawal is not punishment, it is calibration. When you pull back slightly, people remeasure your value. They check the space you used to fill. If that space mattered, demand appears. If it did not, you just saved yourself time and energy that was never respected anyway. Mental poverty tells you to stay available, to feel secure. Power teaches you that security comes from being optional, not dependable. Dependable people are replaceable. Optional people are considered. This does not mean disappearing dramatically or playing games. That is transparent and weak. It means controlling your access, fewer replies, shorter availability windows, selective engagement. You decide when you enter the room, not habit or guilt. In business, scarcity increases price. In attention, scarcity increases authority. When you are not always present, your presence carries weight. People prepare when you show up. They listen differently. They negotiate differently. Remember this clearly. Loyalty is claimed by those who stay. Respect is earned by those who can leave. Absence is not loss. Absence is pressure. And pressure, applied calmly and without emotion, reshapes how others treat you in every serious arena of your life. You chase money because you think money creates options. It does not. Attention does. Money follows attention the same way shadow follows movement. When no one is looking at you, your skills stay invisible. When eyes are on you, opportunity starts looking for you. Law 6 is ruthless and accurate. Court attention at all costs. Not by noise, but by contrast. In modern life, silence is common. Competence is common. What is rare is controlled visibility. When you decide where attention lands, you decide what gets valued. Watch how careers actually move. Promotions rarely go to the most capable worker. They go to the most legible one. The person leadership remembers without effort, not because they begged to be seen, but because their presence created a clear impression. Perception becomes shorthand. Shorthand becomes opportunity. Mental poverty focuses on earning quietly and hoping fairness notices. Power understands. Fairness is blind. Attention gives vision. This is why people with average ability and strong presence outperform silent experts again and again. The system does not reward effort. It rewards what it can easily recognize. Attention is not fame. It is focus directed with intent. A clean reputation, a clear signal, a consistent image. When people know what you stand for, they can place you. When they can place you, they can use you. When they use you, value flows. In business, brands win because they occupy space in the mind before competitors do. In careers, the same rule applies. If your name does not surface when decisions are made, you are irrelevant no matter how skilled you are. This is not about exaggeration. Exaggeration collapses fast. It is about framing, showing outcomes, not effort, letting results speak once, clearly, instead of explaining repeatedly. Attention sticks to clarity. Remember this. Money is stored value. Attention is active force. You can lose money and recover. You can lose attention and disappear. Guard it, shape it. Once you control attention, income stops being something you chase and starts becoming something that follows you without resistance. You are loyal to ideas you never chose. Most of them were handed to you early, reinforced by fear and protected by habit. Those beliefs feel personal, but they are borrowed. And borrowed belief always serves the original owner, not you. Law 27 explains how belief is engineered. It does not begin with truth. It begins with emotional need, certainty, belonging, meaning. When someone gives you a story that explains your pain and promises relief, your mind grabs it before it questions it. Once belief settles, behavior follows. Once behavior repeats, identity hardens. That is how mental poverty becomes permanent. Watch how false loyalty forms. You stay loyal to companies that replace you, to traditions that limit you, to moral rules that only apply downward. You defend them even when they cost you progress. That defense feels like integrity, but it is conditioning. The system benefits from your obedience. You absorb the loss. Belief is powerful because it feels internal while being externally programmed. When you say this is just how things are, you are not describing reality. You are reciting a script that keeps you predictable. Predictability is control. Reclaiming belief starts with discomfort. You question what you were told not to question. You notice where loyalty asks for sacrifice without return. You separate values from habits. Values are chosen, habits are inherited. Only one deserves protection. Mental wealth begins the moment you stop outsourcing meaning. When you build your own belief system, it becomes flexible, strategic, and alive. It adapts. It serves you. It does not ask you to stay small to belong. This is not about rejecting everything. It is about choosing consciously. Keep what strengthens you. Discard what weakens you. Loyalty without benefit is submission wearing virtue. Remember this. Belief can free you or cage you. If you did not design it, it is probably designed to keep you useful, quiet, and compliant. Reclaim your beliefs, and you reclaim the direction of your life without asking permission from anyone. You think effort earns respect. It rarely does. Visible struggle signals low position. When people see you pushing, forcing, chasing, they assume you are compensating for lack of leverage. Law 30 exposes an uncomfortable truth. Power hides its labor. Weakness displays it. Watch how high-status operators move. They do not rush. They do not overproduce explanations. They do not announce pressure. Results arrive clean, timed, and contained. The absence of visible strain creates the illusion of control. That illusion becomes reputation. Reputation does more work than effort ever could. When you try too hard, you invite scrutiny. Every extra message, every follow-up, every justification tells the other side. You need the outcome, need collapses. Negotiating position. Calm multiplies it. The person who appears unaffected by delay always holds more power than the person refreshing their inbox. Mental poverty believes suffering proves worth. Power understands suffering is irrelevant unless converted into outcome. The conversion must be invisible. You can work harder than anyone in the room, but if they can see the grind, they price you accordingly. Effort becomes a discount, not a badge. Effortless framing is not laziness. It is discipline applied privately. Preparation happens off-stage. Execution looks simple. This protects your image and keeps others guessing. Guessing creates caution. Caution creates respect. In careers, the worker who seems overwhelmed becomes a risk. The one who delivers without drama becomes a constant. In relationships, emotional overinvestment pushes people away. Restraint pulls them closer. In business, visible desperation kills deals faster than bad terms. You do not need to fake ease. You need to stop performing struggle, remove unnecessary updates. Reduce emotional language. Let silence absorb pressure instead of broadcasting it. When obstacles appear, address them quietly, then move on. Composure under strain rewires how others rank you. This is not deception, it is self-containment. Your inner chaos is not public property. Strength is measured by how little you leak. Remember this, effort is private. Results are public. When struggle stays hidden and outcomes stay clean, your reputation grows without explanation, and reputation is the engine that keeps working long after effort stops being visible at all. You keep waiting for money to change how you think. That wait is why it never stays. Financial power never leads identity. Identity sets the ceiling money can reach and keep. When your inner posture is small, any gain feels temporary, fragile, accidental. You spend it fast or lose it quietly because you do not see yourself as its rightful owner. Mental wealth is not optimism, it is orientation. It is how you interpret delay, rejection, silence, and pressure. The poor mind personalizes obstacles. The wealthy mind extracts data, one reacts, the other recalibrates. This difference compounds faster than any investment. All 6 laws you learned converge here. You hide intention, control speech, manage absence, direct attention, choose belief, and mask effort, because your internal position demands it. Behavior follows self-perception. When you see yourself as provisional, you over-explain. When you see yourself as established, you conserve energy. Conservation is power. Watch people who suddenly get money without internal shift. They chase validation. They overshare, they overbuy, they overpromise. The money leaks because it was never anchored to a stable identity. Contrast that with individuals who think in leverage before they earn. When money arrives, it organizes around them. It does not destabilize them. Mental wealth means you assume responsibility without asking for credit. You move without announcing. You expect friction and plan through it, instead of complaining about it. This mindset does not feel dramatic. It feels calm, almost cold. Calm is expensive, panic is cheap. This is why power always appears internally first. The external world mirrors internal order. When your thoughts are disciplined, your choices narrow. When choices narrow, outcomes sharpen. Sharp outcomes attract resources. You do not become powerful because money arrives. Money arrives because you already move like someone who can hold it. That movement is quiet, selective, and controlled. Remember this: income tests identity, power reveals it. Build the internal structure first, and when opportunity finally comes, it will recognize you as prepared instead of exposing you as temporary. You just learned 7 layers of power drawn from 6 laws of the 48 laws of power. But knowledge sitting in your head does nothing until it changes how you move. You do not need to apply everything at once. That is how weak minds burn out pretending to be disciplined. Choose one lesson, just one. Apply it for 7 days without announcing it, without explaining it, without asking for permission. Watch how people respond differently when your energy shifts before your words do. Understand this clearly. This is not about manipulation for harm. This is about refusing to be mentally disarmed in a world that rewards predators. You are not learning how to dominate the innocent. You are learning how to stop being dominated by those who already understand these rules. Imagine a world where ethical people understood power as deeply as unethical ones. That world only exists if you decide to become strategically aware. You are standing at a fork. One path keeps you emotionally reactive, financially stressed, constantly explaining yourself, constantly trying to be seen. The other path makes you quiet, intentional, selective, and psychologically grounded. Not to control others, but to never be controlled. One version of you waits for opportunity. The other positions himself so opportunity has no choice but to notice. If this message sharpened your awareness, like the video, so it reaches others who are still stuck blaming circumstances. Subscribe and turn on notifications if you want more unapologetic power. Psychology rooted in Machiavelli and modern reality. Comment below which of the 7 lessons hit you hardest and why. Stay sharp, stay ethical, stay 10 steps ahead.